Today, I want to talk about how I found myself through creativity. I'm Diamond Davis, a content creator, writer, and strategist, and let's get into it. Okay, so this video is really inspired by a pop up that I had last week at a coffee party, and I was selling my affirmation cards, which are specifically geared towards creativity. And one thing that I kind of forgot because I hadn't done a pop up in quite a few months, but is that whenever I tell people my story behind the cards and why I created them and just what creativity has meant to me and affirmations, it always moves a lot of people. And I was like, okay, I should probably do this in a video form so that we just have this on the YouTube channel. So first I'm going to tell the story of my affirmation cards, which you may not be able to quite see, but I will drop a video. I'll drop some stuff in here so you can see them. But anyways, so the story of my affirmation cards. So this was probably 2020. This was before I had left my engineering job to be a full-time content creator. And one of the fears that kept coming up was, could I be creative enough to make a living off of my creativity? Like, would I continue to have ideas? I'm like, I might run out of content ideas. I might just run out of things to create. Like, I don't think I'm creative enough to make a living off of this. And that was the belief. And so I read The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it really helped me to see creativity as a spiritual process and to see myself as more of a creative channel and not just a machine. And that whether you believe in God, source, universe, whatever, but whatever you believe in, that we are a channel and we are getting the downloads from wherever and they're coming through us to be brought to life. And there's a million different ideas. There's a million different things just waiting, more than a million, waiting to be created. I mean, think about literally every single thing that we have, every single thing in life. This camera that I'm talking to you through, this phone that you're watching this from, that water bottle sitting next to you, it all started as an idea in somebody's mind that they were given the download for. And so you don't have to ever worry about running out of ideas. There always will be more. And so I had to shift my perspective and my thinking on that to be able to make a living off my creativity. And then the other part of that was you have to have a self to express. You can't, art, creativity is expression, but in order to express yourself, you have to have an expressive self. You got to know who you are. Think about any artist that you like, Basquiat, Picasso, I don't know, Monet. That's all I can think of. Oh, my favorite, Hilma off Klint. All of them had something they were expressing through their art, through their creativity. I mean, we can even think about content creators. They have something that they are expressing about themselves. And more, even I was reading this article about marketing and about products, is like people want a world. People want something that stands for something. They don't want to just buy into anything. They want to be taken into a world and they want to know whether your beliefs in the self that you are expressing, whether that aligns with them or not. I was already into affirmations before reading The Artist's Way, but after reading The Artist's Way, I was like, I need to be affirming these things about creativity. And how would somebody that makes a living off their creative gifts, how would they be thinking? Because if you see my affirmation videos, you know this about me. I'm really into identity-based affirmations and affirmations that shift the mindset, not just me using affirmations like I am creative. Like, yeah, well, what would the kind of creative that I want to be thinking? They would be thinking things like, when I quiet my mind, inspiration comes easily. So, right? They understand that pause is necessary to be able to get new ideas and to be inspired, and or whether that's listening to somebody, and those were the kind of affirmations that I created. And I would tell myself also things like that I am a creative channel and I don't have to ever worry about running out of ideas, things like that. And so once I made those affirmations, people would ask me for them. They were like, can you send me those affirmations? Can you send me those affirmations? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I just was like, I talk about being able to make a living off my creativity. And it's actually funny to think, it's like now I turned those affirmations into an affirmation card set that people can use, and they can purchase. And that's really where the affirmation cards were born out of, was my own desire to feel creative enough, and to feel like I could make a living off of my creative gifts. And the art that you see in the deck is inspired by one of the very first abstract artists. Her name was Hilma off Klint, and she was literally drawing things that looked like DNA and cells and mitosis, and we didn't even know what those things looked like. And she would always tell people, she's like, oh, I get it from source, I get it from the divine. And they were like, so then it's not really you, you're not really creative. But at that time, they didn't really have an understanding that creativity comes from God, and that we are just the channels. But she did. And so the art style of this is like a modern take on that, and lends to the idea, like I already said, and confirms, of like, we're just the source, because she was already getting what DNA looked like in cells and stuff, and literally drawing and painting those. So yeah, that's really the story behind my affirmation cards and why I created them. And I love creating tools for other people that have helped me, and this is something that has helped me and continues to help me, and I pull from it every single week, and sometimes project based, or just if I'm in a mood to get that inspiration. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys, finally, fully, I think. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.